Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
How are you all doing?
Yeah, fine, Prabhuji. How about you?
All fine. Let me know if the audio is good. We can begin.
Hare Krishna.
It's good, Prabhuji. Clear.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Okay. Someone said they will turn on videos, but I didn't see yet. So let's wait. Om Ajnana-timirandhasya Jnananjana-salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalan Sri Guru Vaishnavanscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishaka Anvitamscha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin iti namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Desatarine Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopis Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Today we'll be reading Canto 3, Chapter 28, Kapila's instructions on the execution of devotional service. If someone would like to volunteer, they can read till verse 12 or 12, I think. Yeah.
Can I, Prabhuji?
Hare
Hare Krishna.
Okay. Yeah.
Kapila's instruction on the
Can
execution
you
of...
say with Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya for
Okay.
auspiciousness?
Yeah, sorry. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Chapter 28. Kapila's instruction on the execution of devotional service. Text 1. The personality of Godhead said, My dear mother, O daughter of the king, now I shall explain to you the system of yoga, the object of which is to concentrate the mind. By practicing this system, one can become joyful and progressively advance toward the path of the absolute truth. One should execute his prescribed duties to the best of his ability and avoid performing duties not allotted to him. One should be satisfied with as much gain as he achieves by the grace of the Lord, and one should worship the lotus feet of the spiritual master. One should cease performing conventional religious practices and should be attracted to those which lead to salvation. One should eat very frugally and should always remain secluded so that he can achieve the highest perfection of life. One should practice non-violence and truthfulness, should avoid thieving and be satisfied with possessing as much as he needs for his maintenance. He should abstain from sex life, perform austerity, be clean, study the Vedas, and worship the supreme form of the supreme personality of Godhead. One must observe silence, acquire steadiness by practicing different yogic postures, control the breathing of the vital air, withdraw the senses from sense objects, and thus concentrate the mind on the heart. Fixing the vital air and the mind in one of the 6 circles of vital air circulation within the body, thus concentrating one's mind on the transcendental pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is called Samadhi or Samadhana of the mind. By these processes or any other true process, one must control the contaminated, unbridled mind, which is always attracted by material enjoyment, and thus fix himself in thought of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. After controlling one's mind and sitting postures, one should spread a seat in a secluded and sanctified place. Sit there in an easy posture, keeping the body erect, and practice breath control. The yogi should clear the passage of vital air by breathing in the following manner. First, he should inhale very deeply, then hold the breath in, and finally exhale. Or reversing the process, the yogi can first exhale, then hold the breath outside, and finally inhale. This is done so that the mind may become steady and free from external disturbances. The yogis who practice such breathing exercises are very soon freed from all mental disturbances, such as just as gold, when put into the fire and fanned with air, becomes free from all impurities. By practicing the process of pranayama, one can eradicate the contamination of his psychological condition, and by concentrating the mind, one can become free from all sinful activities. By restraining the senses, one can free himself from material association, and by meditating on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one can become free from the three modes of material attachment. When the mind is perfectly purified by this practice of yoga, one should concentrate on the tip of the nose with half closed eyes and see the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you. Am I audible?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, thank you very much, Chittamali Mataji. How did you find reading through these few verses?
Yes, Prabhuji. So much, so many instructions how to follow. Yeah.
Yeah.
We will read deeper in purports.
Yes, right. So, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayat Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavata Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Okay, so let's begin this chapter. These are the instructions on the execution of devotional service, and this is in the context of Kapila Muni is answering the questions of Devahuti, and this is the dialogue between them, which is described by Maitreya Rishi to Vidura. Yeah, so and in this third canto we see a lot of details. Yeah, we are coming to the last part of this canto. I mean, there are a few more chapters, but this goes on to describe the conversation between Devahuti and Kardama Muni. Sorry, and did I say Kardama Muni? No, and Kapila Muni. Yeah, so and in the context of explaining what is Sankhya philosophy. We are so much into it, just like if you see Japanese or Chinese, uh, there's so much mysticism in the martial arts. Yeah, so some has some ways of and some ways of self-defense or attacks or whatever, and then there is so much on top of it which is not real. The martial arts is definitely a fact. There is also this arts one can go and learn in the eastern part of the world where there are schools which are very authentic. But then there are so many schools that take advertising model of this, and then they start presenting this in different parts of the world, saying this is what is this martial arts, um, and one may say that we have tailor made it such a way that it can be practiced today in any part of the world. But the truth is that these schools are the schools in China or Japan. They are trying to revive the truth or the facts of the real arts. Yeah, of course, we don't have much time to discuss about those topics now. But in the similar lines, what happened is that yoga is obviously very, very beneficial. Yeah, to that extent that this yoga can give us an entry ticket to the ultimate goal of our life. It has such a great value to offer. But it also has some kind of guidelines, rules, and regulations. And then, because the rules and regulations, who likes? I don't like them. Yeah? Because I don't like them, that's why. But still, I have a desire to achieve the ultimate goal of life, and then I'm looking for shortcuts. And when I'm looking at such kind of shortcuts, there are so many, yeah, so many in the scape uh, or in the skin of the true yoga. So many schools teach yoga, and some teach kind of meditating on something, some teach postures of something, and in the end, the real Sankhya philosophy, you know, the yoga, the main yoga uh, understanding is lost because they think that this is all it. Because I have learned from that school which has thousands of students. Every day, morning and evening, in the TV, there are um, their programs which have so many YouTube channels which have so many likes and subscribes, and in that way we start identifying the real yoga to be only that. But the true yoga, I mean, we'll spend little time today, yeah, to understand what it means from the Lord, not from any person who wants to make benefit from it, from this so-called art of life. Yeah, we want to understand how to benefit from this art of living such a way that ultimate goal of life is achieved. So the first verse is the Lord is saying, I shall explain to you the system of yoga. Now, so when the Lord is saying, there is no doubt, yeah, it is authentic. It is not that someone else is telling, or even the Lord is not just telling about some reference of some yoga as his opinion, but here the Lord is telling as an instruction because Devahuti is eager to know what is that. I am so fortunate to have a husband like Kardama Muni, a son like Kapila Muni. When such exalted personalities are, I am so close to them. How unfortunate it is that I am not able to reach my ultimate goal of life. Huh? So the Lord is speaking that truth. It's not just okay to entertain his mother. It is that it's an instruction so that everyone, whoever reads, are getting an understanding of the yoga. Yeah. So here, I think Prabhupada is mentioning hmm, that here, yeah, where is that authentic? Explains Kadam in the chapter is authorized and standard. Therefore, these instructions should be followed very carefully. To begin, the Lord says that the yoga practice one can, by yoga practice one can make progress towards understanding the absolute truth. I don't know. I don't know which yoga institutions are telling this. Um, not that many yoga studios, institutions are telling that the purpose of yoga is to do what? To understand the absolute truth. That is a very high level of understanding. Hmm? One should not be attracted at all. One should not be at all attracted by such mystic powers, yeah, because um, in the last chapter there was explaining what is what, and then people may think, okay, but should attain progressive realization on the path of understanding the Supreme Lord. Yeah, what is that? In the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 6, 29th verse, it is clearly mentioned that, um, yeah, of all, yeah, the topmost yoga is to practice Krishna consciousness. And here, yeah, Prabhupada explains us that by following the system of yoga, one can become joyful, which means, yeah, it's also a very attractive offer. Yeah, it is not that, okay, we have to again work out something to become happy. Hmm. By practicing yoga, we can, the byproduct of practicing yoga is already happiness. Hmm. And this is what we are talking about Ashtanga Yoga. In these verses that till now mm, Chittamali Mataji read, we spoke about Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara. And of course, Dharana, Dhyana, and Samadhi we will discuss next week. By all these stages of practice, one must realize Lord Vishnu, who is the target of all yoga. There is so-called yoga practices in which one concentrates on void or impersonalism, but this is not approved by the authorized yoga system. Even Patanjali, yeah, we know this Patanjali Yoga Sutra also targets all our attention to Vishnu. Ashtanga Yoga is therefore part of Vaishnava practice. Hmm? The achievement of success in yoga is not acquisition of mystic power. Usually what happens is people think, okay, when I'm getting mystic power, then I can overcome the pains that I'm having. I can help out some people. I can live a very comfortable life, like what I want. But that is not the attention. Even if one has such a desire, that means he is a Godas, not a Goswami, Godas, because the intention here is to enjoy the senses, how to have a better way of life. Mm. But rather freedom from all material designations and situation in one's constitutional position. That is the ultimate achievement in the yoga practice. So that's what we are going to read now. So then Kapila Muni is saying one should execute his prescribed duties to the best of his ability. So this is a kind of a, what do you call, alert. What is the alert? When we are practicing yoga, we may think, it is too high-fi for me and not for me. But it's always possible to practice yoga to the best of one's ability and avoid performing duties not allotted to him. Anyway, now we are going into each of the word. I think, each of these words. Swadharma Charanam and Saktya. So this verse is mentioning about the first, second to fourth verse is telling about uh, the yama and niyama aspects of the Ashtanga Yoga. The first one is Swadharma Charanam Saktya, means executing prescribed duties to the best of one's ability. We'll first read out each word, understand, and then go to the purport of Prabhupada. Yeah, and then there is this Vidharmat cha Nivartanam. It's saying not only that you do your prescribed duties, you don't interfere in others' prescribed duties, which means avoid performing duties not allotted. And then Daivat, Labdhena Santosha. So whatever by the grace of the Lord we are getting, to be satisfied with that. Satisfied with what is achieved by Lord's grace. Atmavit Charana Charanam. This is very important. Worshipping the lotus feet of a spiritual master. Gramya Dharma Nivrittihi. Cessation of conventional religious practice. Very interesting. The first one is to practice prescribed duties, and here in the fifth one it is mentioned uh, about the cessation. Or let's focus first on these four items that are in this sloka. Yeah, this is there are many important words, yeah, and then the most important Prabhupada is mentioning is Atmavich Charana Charanam. What is it? To follow Charana Charan Archanam. So to seek a self-realized or a bona fide spiritual master and serve him. This is what Archanam, surrender unto him. Uh, Here, one should seek out a bona fide spiritual master and surrender unto him, for by inquiring from and worshipping him, one can learn spiritual activities. That is the only way, and only way. We may think that I don't need a guru because anyway I'm going to temple. I don't need a guru because anyway I am hearing to katha. I don't need a guru because anyway I have the access to the books that I can read any day, any time. Uh, this is not enough because there is this surrendering, archanam to the spiritual master. If we can't do that, then uh, our progress is very much hampered. Yeah, we may get a taste of, oh, it's so nice, this devotional service, devotional life, but we won't be able to advance because the mercy of the service opportunity or archanam is not there. Uh, the first recommendation is Swadharma Charanam. Charanam is to follow, and what? Swadharma. And here, what is that we understand is as long as, I mean, we know this Varna, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, and now, and following that is what is part of the yoga. First step is yama. And these particular duties are mentioned in the Shastras and particularly in Bhagavad Gita. Swadharma Charanam means that one must discharge the prescribed duties of his particular division of society faithfully and to the best of his ability. And then, yeah, there is also one should not accept another's duty. But then the question may come, okay, but what are we doing? If we talk about, yeah, Kalo Shudra, so we are by birth Shudras. And in Kali Yuga, there is mass of Shudras. A lot of people are of that. And then we also see in the Western world, or even in India or in the part of the world, every part they say the law of equality or right of equality, and on that basis there is no discrimination. Everyone is eligible, everyone is authorized to do any work. Yeah. um yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, there is also this very 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 sophisticated process even in the world we are living. Huh? A doctor can, it's not like, okay, anyone can just take a suit and enter into an operation theater and do an operation. It should be a surgeon. Anyone can't sit on the judge role and then pass on his judgment at his own will. There is also qualification. And then someone is fulfilling that qualification. And in that way, one is, though they are all by birth, they are same. Yeah, but what is happening is then they are enrolling themselves to higher education, and then they are qualifying to a particular role, and then they are practicing in that specialization and serving the people. Now the question may come, okay, in all this, where is this Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra? Yeah, the names may be different. The names may be different, but if we see the services that one renders are not differing. If you see an Ayurvedic practitioner, a doctor, mm, he's also, yeah, the Vaidya is a doctor. For that, he is qualifying. Yeah, it is only in last couple of yugas, right? And there is this lot of mix up of confusion whether one is a Brahman by birth or Kshatriya by birth. But before there was a complete clarity that one is born, he's put in a normal school, everyone goes to the school irrespective of their birth, And after going to a school, then the teacher is saying, okay, you belong to so and so class of men. Why? Because you are more qualified for this. In that way, they were segregated, and then they were serving the higher purpose. So this Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, yeah. Okay, yeah, coming again back to our context in 21st century, how to understand this? What is my duty? Yeah, am I Vaishya, or am I a Kshatriya? Am I a Shudra? Yeah, that we come here. One should not accept, if one is born in a particular society or community, he should perform the prescribed duties of that particular division. Okay, but this is very important for us. If, however, one is fortunate enough to transcend the designation of birth in a particular society or community by being elevated to the standard of spiritual identity, then his swadharma or duty is what? Is solely that of serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If we are kind of confused of this Chaturvarnam, and all, um and if we really want to, anyway, even after practicing this Chaturvarna, is still again only to serve the Lord. Uh, if one, by the fortune of a spiritual master, is under constant his guidance and blessings, so what he can do is he can just directly practice bhakti. Is solely that of serving Supreme. The actual duty of one who is advanced in Krishna consciousness is to serve the Lord. As long as one remains in the bodily concept of life, he may act according to the duties of social convention. But if one is elevated to the spiritual platform, uh, he must simply serve the Supreme Lord. That is the real execution of Swadharmam. And then Gramya Dharma Nivrittis Cha. What is this Gramya Dharma? Yeah, and the conventional. Um, okay, one should cease performing conventional religious practices. One should be attracted to those who lead, those which lead to salvation. So this cessation of conventional religious practices. Ah, here is what are the religious practices is for economic development or satisfaction of sense desires. What is this? Artha and Kama. One should avoid that. Religious practices should be executed only to gain freedom from the clutches of material nature. Usually they say, hey, first practice rules and regulations, dharma, then earn lot of money ethically, following the dharma, earn lot of money, and then with that money enjoy first. Yeah, come on, you just work very hard, 16 years, 20 years, studying everything very uh, studiously, and then took up role. And then, of course, now you have to earn money, and then after you earn money, you have to burn the money. And after burning, then when there is no money, automatically we will then go to the path of moksha. No, it will not happen. The desires are so strong that we will try to earn more and more with whatever capacity, energy, mentally, physically we have. And only after we are ditched hard into that area where we can't earn any more, then we talk big philosophies that, you know what, uh, yoga is perfect. By the time, if we are fortunate, we have strength to do something, but otherwise, we even tell that, I think I'm a gone case. I admit, see how genuine I am. I am very humble, very truthful. What I do, I simply accept now that the time is up. I can't do much. I would have thought I would have done something in my youth, but anyway, now I'm just waiting for the signal from the Lord. Oh, when He will send His what is that? Mm, Pushpak Viman. No, not Pushpak. What is that? The Viman that he can be taken to another spiritual world. Just I'm waiting for that. Some miracle may happen in my life, and with that miracle, Lord will come, huh? And He will give me the best because I am, yeah, I am special. Maybe I don't know. Maybe some special arrangement will be done for me. It will not going to happen like that. There is a strong need for us to change our life right from beginning. We should understand that every moment of our life is so precious, so valuable that we can't just take it for granted that this moment is not so important in my life. My important moment is coming later. Yeah, I understand devotional service is so nice. Yeah, but it will come later. At the moment is just kind of settling. Let me settle first. After I settle properly, then the devotion, bhakti, mukti will come first. Let me have bhog. So anyway, coming back. So religious practices should be executed only to gain freedom from the clutches of material nature. Even if we are doing something, uh, that should be towards getting free from this world, not to become attracted, enamored, and affected by the material energy. It is stated in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, the first verse, yeah, the topmost religious practice, dharmojita kaitabha, uh, nirmatsaranam. Of course, it's telling about that this Bhagavatam is for non-envious persons, but it is also telling what is this Bhagavatam all about. It the topmost yoga, the topmost religious practice is what? By which one can attain to the transcendental devotional service of the Lord without a reason or cause. If we see someone, they'll ask, "What will I get in bhakti?" Only then, I will be convinced. If we say this topmost that, you won't get anything, huh, without any reason, you have to practice. People will think, "What foolish are you preaching?" But that is the absolute understanding. We are practicing devotion not because I am going to get something, because it is our duty to do. What we will get or don't get doesn't matter or should not be considered. We just do it because we are servants of the Lord and we practice devotional service. Such religious practice is never hampered by any impediment. If we really understand that we are not affected by a good day or a bad day, we will continue practicing bhakti all time. Here, this is recommended as moksha dharma or religious practice for salvation or transcendence of clutches of material contamination. Huh? So, this understanding of practicing, I am a religious person, I am a God fearing person, is if it is only for economic development or sense enjoyment, because agar uh, we worship demigods, right, so that we can gain wealth or we can gain position, power, that should not be the main purpose of practicing bhakti. uh, but that is not recommended for one who wants to advance in yoga. If we want to just rot in this world repeatedly, birth after birth, we can do that. We can also be graced by these energies, by the blessings of the demigods like Indra, Chandra, Varuna, uh, um, and but that will only enable us a more comfort here, hmm, but no taste or attachment to the Lord. Then comes Mita Medhyana. Medhyanam. Where is that? Mita Medhyadanam. Shashwat. This is telling about Mita means limited. Mita Medhyadanam is to eat very, very carefully, yeah, or frugally. Means only eat when you need. Yeah, there is this normal saying, right? Yeah, uh, eating for life or life for eating. Uh, are we eating to live or we are living to eat? Is a interesting question. And yoga, from the understanding of yoga, we understand that eating only half what he desires. Yeah, a yogi, right? A yogi eats only half what he desires according to his hunger. If I have hunger, uh, eat only half of what I should be eating. If one is so hungry that he could devour 1 pound of food, the example is he will eat only half and remaining he will fill with water. And after filling with water, 1/4 of the stomach should be still left empty. If one eats in this manner, he will avoid indigestion and disease. Usually, what we'll say is, hey, when person is sick, we say, no, eat, 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 because there is no strength, there is no energy. If you eat only, then only you'll get energy. But we have to follow this. It's not like we completely fast, we don't eat at all. If we can follow this regulation of taking sufficient fluid and facility for wind or air to move the vital air to digest the food, then our health can recover soon. Huh? The yogi should eat in this way, as recommended in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and other standard scriptures. The yogi should live in a secluded place where his yoga practice will not be disturbed. Very interesting. Huh? This is very interesting. Why? Because already our inside us is already so much disturbance. Our mind is not steady. Huh? Our health is not steady. In that way, our body inside is so many disturbances. Just imagine if we are in a place where we have a lot of social obligations. Huh? Or peer pressure, like, okay, you come to my party because I came to your party, or you yeah, you come to my wedding anniversary, or you come to my birthdays, and in that way, or you come for these are all yeah, after all, it is all auspiciousness, right? If one goes and sits in a marriage, and if one is hearing very attentively the Vedic hymns that are pronounced by the authorized, elevated priest, I don't know where we can find these qualified such priests, and if they really are saying, and if one can sit in the assembly and sit quietly, and of course that quietness, I don't know where we get, yeah, because that quietness is completely disturbed, because after all, people from all over, they have met now, only that moment in that marriage, not for seeing the marriage, but um, to discuss so many topics. Isn't it, Chitramali Mataji? I think recently you attended a marriage, right? Mhm.
Yes, Prabhuji. When we were in India.
Maybe you can glorify that, right? So how is the environment? It's all talking about that. There's so many things. I don't know, the priest when he's speaking the mantras, is one attentive? I don't know. Everyone is waiting. As soon as there is a green signal uh, for a feast, everyone rushes there, right? Sometimes it is so pity that, of course, peaceful also for the girl and boy to sit along with the priest uh, to finish off the marriage business. Yeah. So, yeah, this is only, I have just given a small glimpse of a day, or even a half day or few hours. Of course, these days marriages are not going, thankfully, not for 5 days. Otherwise, 5 days locked in a place of all this show off is becomes more difficult. One may think, no, after all this these are sanskaras. One should attend. If I don't go to someone's marriage, he will not come to my kid's marriage. Yeah, yeah, very valid, right? So in that way, what we do is the social obligations can bind us that instead of the benefit of little, we are losing a lot. Hmm? So in that way, all these obligations one can avoid. Here it says, yogi should live in a secluded place where his yoga practice will not be disturbed. What is that yoga? A secluded place is temple. Secluded place doesn't mean that you find a corner where no one is seeing you, no one is hearing you, no one is coming and disturbing you. No. Secluded place means a place where you can be yourself. Where can you be there? If you are aspiring devotee, you can be yourself in the association of devotees. Best place, in the temple, in dham, holy places, in yatras, so many places where the focus is fully one, that is to serve the Lord, to hear about the Lord, to glorify the Lord. So that is what we say here. A yogi should live in a secluded place where his yoga practice will not be disturbed. Okay, I hope if there are questions are being noted, but I will proceed to to the next verse, which is telling about what is that? Ahimsa Satyam Asteyam Yavad Artha Parigraha Brahmacharyam Tapah Saucham. This is very important. Swadhyaya Purusharcharanam. This is giving us a very powerful framework of how a sadhaka should be. Yeah. Here it says that um, where are we? Ahimsa. I think that is the word. Ahimsa. We know that's non-violence and satyam. Yeah. So first we understand this. Um, the word purusharchanam. Yeah. Before we were also reading about archanam of the spiritual master is very important, and ultimately everything, all this yoga is towards what? Purusharchanam. What is that? To worship the supreme personality of Godhead. Yoga is not to get a relief from material suffering. Yoga is not to get happiness. Yoga is not to get a fame and name, position, power, mystic power. No, ultimate ultimate goal of all that is to do what? Purusharchanam. Param Purushottam, the Lord. Yeah, one when he engages or surrenders to the Supreme Lord, that is the Samadhi stage where one is absorbed and unflinchingly, undeviatedly serving the Lord, form of Lord. In Bhagavad Gita, it is confirmed by Arjuna that Krishna is the original Purusha, Purusha Shashvatam. Therefore, in yoga practice, one not only must concentrate his mind on the person of Krishna, but must also worship the form or deity of Krishna daily. Bhakti or yoga in practice. A brahmachari. This is from here on. It tells about how important it is such a varnashram system where the youth are properly trained. A brahmachari practices celibacy, controlling his sex life. One cannot enjoy unrestricted sex life and practice yoga. This is rascaldom. And of course, Prabhupada is mentioning that so many yoga institutes are doing that. Yeah, hey, you learn yoga, you pay me some money, and you can do whatever you want. I will still make you happy. Hmm. It is very clearly explained here that one must observe celibacy. Brahmacharyam means one that one leads his life simply in relation with Brahman or in full Krishna consciousness. Those who are too addicted to sex life cannot observe the regulations which will lead them to Krishna consciousness. So that is the problem. Sex life should be restricted to persons who are married. A person whose sex life is restricted in marriage is also called a brahmachari. What an offer. Hmm? So why? Because the wife and husband are still always keeping Krishna in the center. Uh, so in that way they regulate their lifestyle such a way that they are always they are always strictly following Krishna consciousness. And then further word asteyam. Asteyam means to refrain from theft. And Prabhupada is explaining very clearly what is a thief. Who is a thief? Thief, usually we think that if someone is not seeing and we go and we steal, that person is called thief. But in a broader sense, one who accumulates more than he needs is a thief. Why? Because what he needs, uh, he should be content with that. Why? Because Lord has created a quota for everyone. If I have more money to get more, I should buy and distribute it. But rather, if I keep it for myself, that is thief. Yeah, it is like a daylight thief. Yeah, just while everyone is seeing, we are stealing. According to spiritual communism, one cannot possess more than he needs for his personal maintenance. That is the law of nature. So, transmigrating a law of nature is theft. Anyone who accumulates more money or more possessions than he needs is called a thief. And one who simply accumulates wealth without spending for sacrifice or for worship of the Supreme Lord is a great thief. After all, people will say, "Hey, uh, if I spend all this money in all kind of worships, I will. There will be people telling, "Hey, are you gone mad? You have earned so much and you are giving it to donations. What kind of person are you? Who will take care of you tomorrow? The Lord will come and protect you. Huh? You have worked hard. You have studied hard. You have worked hard. You have earned. And then if you are just spending that in donations, what kind of a fool are you? It's very important that if we do not develop this attitude of charity, then our life is doomed. Why? Because accumulation is theft. It is against the law of nature. And we know what happens when we deal against law of nature. Sometime or the later, we will be caught up. Why? Because the goddess of the material energy, Durga Devi, what she does, she sees this guy um, mm, is violating the law of nature, so he needs to be punished, and that punishment, so will only is only for purification. Hare Krishna. Yeah. So in that way, one may think that okay, I'm escaping whatever illegal danda I'm doing here. That is okay. No one is seeing. As long as no one is seeing, I can always enjoy. But the material energy, Durga Devi, she is definitely making a note of all things that we are messing up, and especially when we don't have this attitude of charity, and not only charity for the well-being of the society, but charity or the donations for what? For serving the Lord. Then he is a great thief. And then Swadhyaya, reading the authorized Vedic scriptures. I think there is somewhere a reference of Narottam Das Thakur. Yeah, Narottam Das Thakur is saying says that all spiritual activities should be understood from three sources: saintly persons, standard scriptures, and the spiritual master. Let me know if my internet is good. You able to hear me well?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So what is this? Narottam Das Thakur is saying that we should take shelter of Vedic scriptures. We should take shelter, otherwise we won't know what is right, what is wrong. We are in darkness, we are in ignorance. To come out of that, we have three sources: Sadhu, Shastra, and Guru. These three guides are very important for progress in spiritual life. The spiritual master prescribes standard literature for the prosecution of yoga, of devotional service. And he himself speaks only from scriptural references. So, what is the proof that a particular Swami or a Guru or a Baba or someone is authorized, qualified, is to see what is he speaking, from what sources is he speaking. Are these in the Vedic references? Are these from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam? Are these from the Bhagavad Gita? Are these from Ramayana, Mahabharata? Based on these scriptures, if the speaker is speaking, yes. Therefore, reading standard scriptures is necessary for executing yoga practice. Without reading the standard literatures is simply waste of time. If we are reading news, waste of time, because this is not Vedas. It is not going to bring us a life transformation. It will only create more fear to see what disgusting world we are living. Hmm? One country is suffering, one country is helping, one country is harming. Yeah. This is at a country level, international level. If you go to a national level, there are some other stories. If you go to even a local, every level, we see how many disgusting things happen in the society. Reading about that is only waste of time. And then we come to this asana pranayama pratyahara. So here we say maunam sadasana jaya sthiryam prana jaya sanai pratyahara chendriyanam pratyaharas च इंद्रियाणाम विषयान मनसा हृदि. So this is telling that one must observe silence, acquire steadiness by practicing different yogic posture, controlling control the breathing of vital air, withdraw the senses from sense objects, hmm, and thus concentrate the mind on the heart. So here we are getting to know, I mean, serious about what yoga is really about. Control, concentrate the mind on the heart. Why? Because the Lord stays there. Lord is situated there. So asanam is attaining steadiness by mastering correct asanas. It is not asanas whatever we think to help us release some muscle tensions or to strengthen some postures. No, there is this asanas prescribed in the Patanjali Yoga Sutras. One can see, and what is the purpose of that? Huh? They are they are means to the end of attaining steadiness. First, one must be able to sit properly. I don't know if it is mentioned here. There is this swastika asana, means sitting cross-legged. I don't know how long can we sit cross-legged. Some yogis are there definitely who can sit like that. But some, I mean, when you see in some yoga institutes, they struggle to sit in a cross-legged posture. Yeah, then they go more into Vajrasan. They even struggle that they put their legs in the front and take a support of their hands like a chair. I don't know, someone is not on mute. And then the mind and attention will become steady enough for practicing yoga. Is it who is that?
Apu Prabhu.
No, I see Apu Prabhu is on mute. Yeah. So, hmm. So then we are talking about this. One must observe. Silence. We are talking, right? So one must sit in asana before we usually go to pranayama, right? But because pranayama is so nice that we don't even care asanas, because it is only sitting. Uh, it is only sitting. I think we all like that more than asanas where we have to really shed our uh, sweat like anything, and then we need a cooling period after that. So but pranayama is nice, but actually here it is said that the sitting positions is the basis, these things are basis to strengthen ourselves so that we can practice pranayama. One must control the circulation of vital air, and with such control he will be able to withdraw the senses from the sense objects. This is pratyahara. In the previous verse, it is stated that one must observe celibacy. The most important aspect of sense control is controlling sex life, by practicing different sitting postures and controlling the vital air. One can control and restrain senses from unrestricted sense enjoyment. So, if we think that this is totally foreign to me, it is something alien to my way of living, we will here we have a step by step approach. We don't have to take a samadhi tomorrow. Of course, sometimes samadhi people may think that it is only after death, right? So why is this samadhi also yoga? There is no control in me. It is only my samadhi is graved in some space and then or burned somewhere. But how can I practice samadhi? We'll come to that when next week to discuss about it. But here uh, we are talking about gradually how one can come to that position. And then comes this. Yeah, we are talking about Swadhisnyanam ekadeshe. So with one full attention, in one spot. Yeah, Manasa prana dharanam Vaikunta leela bhi dhyanam samadhanam. I think Chitamali Mataji was reading samadhanam. Samadhanam tathatmanaha. So here we are talking about dharanam, fixing the prana at one spot among the various chakras by mind. That is the dharana. Yeah. And then dhyana, meditating on the limbs of the Lord and Vaikuntha Leelas. Dhyan. So it is not dhyan means to find a very calm place where there is no light entering. I remember when I was in the, I don't know if someone has gone to Elephanta Caves. Anyone? In near Mumbai. There is where Swami Vivekananda has swam through this ocean, and he end up on a rock on, is it Elephanta Caves? Yeah, on this rock, Swami Vivekananda has done meditation. Yeah, it's not that far from the Mumbai shore. We went, and after reaching there, of course, it's not so easy. Also, if one is swimming, so he should be very strong. I went by a steamer, luckily. And after 15 minutes, I was there. And when I went up, and I was seeing there's only water all sides, but there was a small construction. And there is a door. When I opened it, there was nothing. It was no light at all. Complete pitch dark. I don't know who is sitting where. Anyway, I entered in, spent some time uh, meditating on something. I don't even remember what. And after some time, I came out and felt a lot of relaxation. Oh, a lot of uh, and people will take this relaxation as the ultimatum, and then they think, oh, this is what we should do. Sit in a closed, lightless room, focus ourselves. Maybe there will be one dot or something, one light, and this yoga is so nice, yeah, and no one disturbs. But here we are talking about fixing the vital air. It's not just ourself turning off the light doesn't mean anything. Yeah, but we have to actively control our vital airs and the mind in one of the six circles of vital air circulation. Um, and the purpose is the first circle is within the belly. The second circle is in the area of heart. Third is in the lungs area. The fourth is in the palate. Fifth is in the eyebrows, and the highest sixth is uh, brain. Shat chakra. What is this word called? Shat chakra yoga? No, no. I'll find the word. Yeah, Patanjali Yoga Sutras, right? He calls it with a particular name. One has to fix his mind and the circulation of air, vital air, and thus think of transcendental pastimes of the Supreme Lord. It is never mentioned that one should concentrate on the impersonal or void. It is clearly stated, Vaikuntha Leela. This is spoken by uh, Kapila Muni, who is speaking the Sankhya philosophy. Yeah. Unless the absolute truth, the personality has transcendental activities, where is the scope of thinking of these pastimes? So when we are talking about Leela, means definitely Lord is enacting some Leela, some pastimes. That's why uh, the Lord is telling that there are pastimes of the Lord. It is through the processes of devotional service, chanting and hearing of the pastimes of the Supreme Lord that one can achieve this concentration. Huh. It is not by cessation only, it is by uh, um, absorbing present in chanting and hearing of the Lord, one can be in that dharana. As described in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, the Lord appears and disappears according to his relationship with different devotees. Huh? The Vedic literature contains many narrations. It could include battle of Kurukshetra. If someone is really, oh, I want to know, I like a very action movie where there is a lot of fighting going on. Battle of Kurukshetra. There also, who is the lead? Huh? It is not Duryodhana or it is not Dharmaraj. It is still Krishna, because it was that moment where if he wouldn't have spoken Bhagavad Gita, that battle wouldn't have happened. And historical facts relating lives of and precepts of devotees like Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruva Maharaj, Ambarish Maharaj. One need only concentrate his mind on one such narration and becomes always absorbed in its thoughts. Then he will be in Samadhi. Samadhi is not artificial bodily state. It is the state achieved when the mind is virtually absorbed in thoughts of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is yeah, just a kind of description of asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, and samadhi. limbs of Ashtanga Yoga. Yeah, and then here there is the explanation. I think we could. Here it says that what is the yoga then? By these processes, what one should do is thus fix himself in thought of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is what is Jita Prana, the life air being fixed, and then doing what? To always be absorbed. Hmm. Where is that? One must. Sanakai gradually thus fix himself in the thought of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Ether Anyaischa. uh, Anya is chair, remaining or other. The general yoga process entails observing the rules and regulations, which is yama and niyama, practicing different sitting postures, asana, concentrating the mind on the vital circulation of air, which is what pranayama, and then thinking of the supreme personality of Godhead in his Vaikuntha pastimes. This is possible. How? This is a kind of summary of pratyahara, dhyana, dharana, dharana, dhyana. Yeah, why? Because pratyahara means negating our interest in the material things. What does it mean? It means that it is only possible to not think about matter. The only moment is when we think about spirit. It is not like a 1, 0, minus 1. There is always 1 and minus 1, 1 and minus 1. 1 means spiritual, minus 1 is material. There is no something middle. So if we are now reading or if we are now speaking Bhagavatam, it is 1. And if we stop and if we are seeing TV, then it is minus 1. Again, if we are seeing the darshan of the Lord, it is 1. And if we are seeing a movie, then it is minus 1. If we are associating with devotees, it is 1. If we are associating with karmis, it is minus 1. There is nothing in the middle. This same concentration can be achieved by other recommended processes, and therefore anya ischa, other methods also can be applied. The essential point is that the mind, which is contaminated by material attraction, has to be bridled and concentrated on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It cannot be fixed on something void or impersonal. In so many purports, we see this very clearly. Prabhupada is emphasizing. For this reason, so-called yoga practices of voidism and impersonalism are not recommended in any standard yoga shastras. We may be inspired from some other schools, some other religions, and then bring it, but this is only a hmm, imported understanding of yoga. The real yogi is the devotee because his mind is always concentrated on the pastimes of Lord Krishna. Therefore, Krishna consciousness is the topmost yoga system. And then we go to this eighth. I think you read till 12, right? Let me go quickly. What are the requirements for doing this? Yeah, of course, it's so nice to know these. What are the 8 limbs? At least let's do few. But what is required is Saucham Dese. Uh, um, it is that first thing is one should practice breath control by controlling the mind and sitting postures. So after controlling one's mind and sitting postures, then what happened? One should spread a seat in a secluded and sanctified place. Sit there in an easy posture, keeping the body erect, and practice breath control. Hmm? So, sitting an easy posture is swasti. Swasti samasina. Swasti samasina is we also call is that swastika asana. Hmm? This is what is a cross-leg posture. It is recommended in the yoga scripture that one should put the soles of the feet between the two thighs and ankles and sit straight. That posture will help one to concentrate his mind on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This very process is also recommended in Bhagavad Gita, 6th chapter. It is further suggested that one sit in a secluded, sanctified spot. What is that? The seat should consist of deer skin and kusha grass topped with cotton. I don't know how we can arrange this. Yeah? Hmm. Deer skin. blue cross, I don't know what cross will come. And then kusha grass, yeah, we can arrange, and with cotton. So basically what we are telling is arrange a seat which is even. Yeah, I think this comes in Bhagavatam and also Bhagavad Gita, where we see that what is how should one sit. It should not be uneven, it should not be too hard, it should not be too soft. Hmm? It should not be too hot, it should not be too cold. And then this is coming about pranasya shodhaneya margam. What is that way? Is that yogi should clear the passage of vital air by breathing in the following manner. I mean, I don't have to speak much on this. I think you may have a lot of information on what is a pranayama process. It is all about breathing, retaining, and exhaling. What is that? Hmm? Mm, Rechaka, Puraka, and Kumbhaka. I think this is what third one, right? Anyone yoga experts here? Puraka, Kumbhaka, and Rechaka. Yeah. And then in this process, then hold the breath outside and finally inhale. This is done so that the mind may become steady and free from external disturbances. So, if we want to have a peace of mind, hmm, what we should do is take to this process of understanding how to control the breath. Then, I mean, when I was reading this, I also was thinking, if we want to have a peaceful japa, maybe just a 2 minutes of pranayama can help us. Of course, if we can sit properly and do it. So, but standard prescribe prescribe no prescription is it's prescribed to first do some asana so that the body is flexible so that the vital air can circulate through the body without all the blockages. So asanas are required, and then this pranayama of controlling the breath, so that these when we are controlling the breath energy, the vital energy which is going into the channels and um, through the nervous system, yeah, it's not blocked, and then we can have a peace of mind. After all, this is what we want to do our japa. Savai Manah Krishna Padara Vindayo. What is that? These breathing exercises are performed to control the mind and fix it on the Supreme Lord. What we can do is we can take a shortcut. What is that? Just remember. This is why we see so many recommendations as a tips, japa tips. What is that? Uh, Read something about Krishna before you do japa. Uh, and Ambarish Maharaj, yeah, we know this mana Krishna pada savai mana Krishna pada aravindayo vachamsi gunanu varnana. So we engage our senses in glorifying the Lord, in hearing the Lord, in smaranam, in remembering the Lord. In that way, we can be fixed our mind on the lotus feet of Krishna 24 hours a day. The process of Krishna consciousness is to chant Hare Krishna and to hear the sound attentively so that the mind is fixed upon the transcendental vibration of Krishna's name, which is not different from Krishna, the personality. The real purpose of controlling the mind by the prescribed method of clearing the passage of air, life air is achieved immediately if one fixes his mind directly on the lotus feet of Krishna. Huh? The Hatha Yoga system or breathing system is especially recommended for those who are very absorbed in concept of bodily existence. But one who can perform the simple process of chanting Hare Krishna can fix the mind more easily. And then here there is explanation of what is Rechaka, what is Kumbhaka, what is Puraka, etc. And what is all this drama is to do this thing. The nerves through which inhalation and exhalation are conducted are technically called Ida and Pingala. The ultimate purpose of clearing the Ida and Pingala passage is to divert the mind from material enjoyment. So it's very dangerous, right? If someone is want to have material enjoyment and if they do pranayama, what will happen? Hmm. If we divert our mind to thoughts of material enjoyment, then our mind becomes an enemy. And if we concentrate our mind on the lotus feet of Krishna, then our mind is a friend. By the yoga system of Puraka, Kumbhaka, Rechaka, or by directly fixing the mind on the sound vibration of Krishna or on the form of Krishna, the same purpose is achieved. Yeah. So now that means we are, if we are practicing Krishna consciousness, we are implicitly doing all the steps, yama, niyama, asana also, yeah, pranayama, obviously. Thus, one can fix his mind constantly on the Supreme Personality of Godhead and can attain uh, yati. Mm. And then here, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, yeah, in this yuga, right? It's very difficult to do all this because of lack of facilities. But practicing yoga system of exercise and breathe is very difficult for a person in this age, and therefore Lord Chaitanya recommended Kirtaniya Sadahari. One should always chant the holy name of the Supreme Lord Krishna because Krishna is the most suitable name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The name Krishna and the Supreme Person Krishna are non-different. Therefore, if one concentrates his mind on hearing and chanting Hare Krishna, the same result is achieved. And then doing so, what happens? Doing that process, purification happens. The example given here is about the gold. Yogi who practices such breathing exercises are very soon freed from all mental disturbances. Just as gold, when put into fire, fanned with air, becomes free from all impurities. So this body is filled with so many impurities already, yeah. And in this process of pranayama, right, what we are doing is we are kind of purifying ourselves, purifying our consciousness. And when the mind and consciousness is purified, what does it mean? That we lack taste on the material objects and develop taste to spirituality. Yeah. What is this? This process of purifying the mind is also recommended by Lord Chaitanya. He says one should chant Hare Krishna. He says further, Param Vijayate, all glories to Sri Krishna Sankirtana. All glories are given to the chanting of holy name of Krishna because as soon as one begins this process of chanting, the mind becomes purified. Cheto Darpana Marjanam. One can purify the mind either by breathing process or by chanting process, just as one can purify gold by putting it in a fire and fanning it with the bellows. And then, what are the effects of practicing this? What will happen with pranayama is, if we do pranayama, yeah, by practicing the process of pranayama, one can eradicate the contamination of his psychological condition, and by concentrating the mind, one can become free from all sinful acts. By restraining the senses, one can free from himself from material association, and by meditating on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one can become free from the three modes of material nature. So this is talking about that by practicing pranayama, it destroys the doshas in the body. uh, by dharana, it destroys the sins. By pratyahara, it frees from material association with sense objects. And dhyana frees one from the modes, which is uncontrollable qualities. So in that way, one gets freed. Yeah. And there is this purport Prabhupada mentions about our body, nature, and etc. Very important here is that sagunan samitatyaitam brahma bhuyaya kalpate. For every item in the yoga system, there is a parallel activity in bhakti yoga. I don't know in which one it is mentioned, it will come, but the practice of bhakti yoga is easier for this age. When what was introduced by Lord Chaitanya is not a new interpretation. People may think, what is this? Huh? Vedas are telling one way, and Hare Krishna, ISKCON are doing other way. Mm. It's not a kind of a new invention. It's not a kind of a new yeah, the trend is always we want to be odd, right? If we are odd, then people get attracted more. So that's why instead of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, sorry, instead of Hare Rama, we are also saying Hare Krishna as starting. Hmm? No, this is not a new interpretation. Bhakti yoga is feasible process that begins with chanting and hearing. When we practice, then we understand. When we follow, then we understand. Uh, when we see the results in our life, then we understand that this is not Ethiopian idea. It's not a fanatic, uh, uh, or it's not a, what do you call, mm, factionistic ideology. No, it is Bhakti Yoga presented in such a way that we can practice. Bhakti Yoga and other yogas have their ultimate goal and the same personality of Godhead. But one is practical, the others are difficult. One has to purify his psychological condition by concentrating concentration and by restraint of the senses, then he can fix his mind upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is called Samadhi. And finally, what is that? That Samadhi is Yada Manah Swa. Yada Manah Swam Virajam Yogena Susamahitam. Susamahitam. This is saying that when the mind becomes steady by the practice of this yoga, looking at the tip of the nose, one should meditate on the form of the Lord. So, I don't know, when we see tip of the nose, what may happen? It is clearly mentioned here that one has to meditate upon the expansion of Vishnu. The word kastham refers to Paramatma, the expansion of Vishnu. Bhagavata refers to Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Lord. Supreme Godhead is Krishna. From him comes the first expansion, Balaram, Baladev, and from Baladev comes Sankarshana, Aniruddha, and many other forms, followed by Purusha avatars, as mentioned in the previous verses. Purusharchanam. This Purusha is represented as Paramatma or the Super Soul. A description of Super Soul upon whom one must meditate will be given in the following verses. In this verse, it is clearly stated that one must meditate by fixing the vision on the tip of the nose and concentrating one's mind on the kala, I don't know, or the plenary expansion of Vishnu. So in that way, we see yoga is not foreign for Hare Krishnas. Yeah, so Hare Krishnas are already following yoga. It is not that okay, let me do two things, sometime for this, sometime for that. When we very seriously follow this path of bhakti, then we are attaining the topmost result beyond this dharma, artha, kama, or even moksha. Not even that, even beyond that. I'll stop here. Thank you. Anyone would like to add something from your own examples, realizations?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Hare Krishna.
Yes, thank you, Prabhuji, for this nice tell about more about the Ashtanga Yoga. So, you mentioned that there is only -1 or 1, yeah? So, voidism or impersonalism, is it not like 0, or does it also fall into the category of -1?
Where there is no Lord, there is -1.
Yes?
Yeah. So just thinking like, okay, now I can meditate on self, or there is one, the light attaining Brahma Jyoti, right? Is only a temporary space, yeah, where one falls down again to realize bhakti. So in a way that you are just wasting a lot of time to attain there.
Yes, okay. So it's also like -1, yeah? So nothing is 0.
Yeah, I mean, it is that you are still, I mean, it is the effulgence of the Supreme Lord, which is transcendental, no doubt. But the efforts that we are putting, we are talking about activities. What is one, what is qualified one, what is not. Yeah. By indulging in those yoga practices of meditating the Supreme Lord, one is freeing himself from the suffering, is relieved from the material conditioning, and then he is positioning himself in a better conditions. But that is not the permanent. It is not giving you the everlasting result. Let me see that way. Yeah, one means everlasting, will never go.
Yes, Prabhuji, yes, okay. And so also in the Ashtanga Yoga, the 7th step, the dharana, is to focus on the lotus feet and the pastimes of the Lord, and on the in samadhi. So does the person absorb totally on the thoughts of the Lord, or
It is
does
a
it
state. Yeah. In some, I mean, we will discuss that also in next week. But that stage of samadhi is that he is virtually not experiencing his body. Yeah, it is a state where he is totally absorbed in the Lord. It is said like as if like he is forgetting his existence. Yeah, he does exist. Yeah, but his absorption is so much and so constant that he is not seeing what his body is like. If you see, Prahlad Maharaj was put in all kinds of troubles. Yeah, if it was a material condition, material concept, right, or material perception would have been there, then immediately a care would be there. Oh, how to protect my body. Yeah, but the perception of that is not there because it's totally absorbed in the glories of the Lord in the bhakti yoga.
So that is also samadhi state that Prahlad
That
Maharaj.
is, yeah.
Okay.
It is
Not
not like
just
our Ashtanga yogas where samadhi means sitting only in one place and totally absorbed. Yeah, this is also one can attain. It's not only that, but the effect of it is that you do not have any perception of your own self, because the example given here is like a fire. There is a big fire and a spark of fire. When the spark of fire goes in, do you still see a spark of fire? Hmm? I think we missed Chittamali Mataji. I think they're gone, but yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I do have a question here. First of all, thanks a lot for explaining this chapter wonderfully. Regarding this concept of Swadharma, so how can I understand it, or how can I know it when I don't have a guru? Is there any another way to find it out and check for myself that what I'm doing is in line with my Swadharma? Or
At least on a conventional way is to approach a guru. And people take it very light because we think that, okay, after all, there is Google for everything, right? Whatever knowledge we want, we can just search in Google. Now there is a Google, tomorrow something else will come, or in the past there was something else. In the past, in the spirit of Googling, what are we doing is we are doing a seeking job, isn't it? Yeah. What we
yes,
do
yes.
is we try to explore the world. Yeah, there are so many such explorers have explored so many things. They went deep into the ocean, they found so many things. They went into a space, they have explored so many things. Yes, and everything costs money, time, health, year, age, everything, right? So in this seeking business, what we are doing is we are not always lucky that we get the right path yet, so which is free from all kind of risk factors. Just imagine, I mean, the example or analogy is like if you are stuck in a forest. If we are stuck in a forest, we can use a Google map and find a way out and then come out, isn't it? If we don't have such a Google map traced there, what can we do? We are literally stuck, right? So we don't know. We'll just go. We think, sun. I think in the morning I have seen in this direction. So east side, I think I have to go because if I go in the east side, then I am going towards Hyderabad from Srisailam forest, isn't it? What may happen is you may have a very intellectual understanding, but whatever you thought east, if it was west, you end up totally going away from your home. Yeah, when we are talking about home, home is the spiritual abode, the ultimate destination. Instead of going closer, what we do is we end up in going more away from it, right? And then we can do, I don't know if you have played this labyrinth, right? That day when we were in Ravensburg, huh? Of course, that was luckily a very small labyrinth, so it was quite fast. We could do all stamping and punching and everything, and we could come out in 15 minutes. But this world is not so easy labyrinth, yeah. So this world is so kind of complex that if you go left and right, this looks as if you have come this way and this is your home, but it's an illusion. Yeah, and you go around and round and round, and you just simply get tired. That whatever, and just imagine when it's a night, when there is a night coming, then what can we do? Literally, we are stuck there. We can't even go left or right. We have to wait there. This analogy I'm just trying to bring up to give our condition. Yeah, that night is our ignorance. When we don't have info, what can we do? We are just simply stuck there. And sometimes so-called light, which is daylight, right? Something we think, yeah, now I have a clue of what it is. But that light also, yeah, in that light, there is still a risk because we may not have the real light. And in that way, we can go in circles and circles for ages. And when our age is, 60, 70 years, I think we'll say, come on. Yeah, it's not bad to be in this forest, right? So there will be time to time some fruits are there. Some river is flowing, some water is there. Who cares if I am in the forest? What do you say, Suritej Babu? It's not a bad idea, right?
Yeah, yes, Prabhuji.
But ultimately, our home, yeah, there are so many things. Yeah, ultimately, that forest was not never our destination. But because we have compromised, and we start appreciating because we have compromised. If one really asks, "Are you really, really happy?" If someone is asking me that, "Hey, are you really happy?" To keep myself solacing myself, I say, yeah, I am fine, I am happy, yeah, it's okay. But if one is genuinely asking who can really help me, if one really can help me, I will open up and say, Prabhu, this is a hell. Yeah, my life has so many hellish conditions. Yeah, that suffering, this suffering, too many things are there. I can't share with you because I feel myself dejected. I feel myself so um, yeah. But if at all that person can really help you, you're really looking for such person, right? You're really looking for such person where till now you have kept it a secret. That my precious thing that no one should know, otherwise they will think I am unsuccessful in my life. That's why if someone comes and asks, how are you? I say, I'm fine. Why? Because I don't want to be found or caught up that, hey, I am not, I might be unhappy, but I don't want to confess that because people may make uh, due advantage of it, and they will always say, hey, I have one medicine, I have another medicine, I have so many medicines that I can cure your disease. And we have tried all these medicines, they are bitter, they didn't work. So that's why we don't want to go there. Better to say, hey, if how are you? Better to say I'm fine. But if that there is one person who can really cure your disease, won't you open up to that person?
Yes, Prabhuji, we open up.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, and then when we open up, what is that happening is all of a sudden we see, hey, I have a lot of hope now. I have really now a hope because I am not guided by any bogus, less intelligent, or so-called flashy lighting or whatever. But when I see that I am now under the guidance of that guide who knows the forest in and out. Huh? He knows, yeah. Just imagine a forester, a forest officer, I don't know. Yeah, he knows, yeah. He will simply pull out a map and show you exactly, hey, if you start here today doing japa, then how your growth will go. From where, Adav Shraddha Tada Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, Anardha Nivritti. So he is showing a way of how to really navigate through this forest so that we can come out to our home. Here is also, there is only information, right? So Google is also giving information, this person is also giving information, both are giving knowledge. What is the difference between both of them is the spiritual master is personally holding the hand and decoding, decifying, because he is seeing your level. I don't know whether Google will see your level. Huh? I think Google map for all, right? Yeah, but we are not in that matured state. So Guru is personally guiding through those dangers where there is a, what do you call this, quicksand? Quicksand, right? Yeah, where there is, if you put on your leg and then you will just sucked in. Huh? And what is it called? I can't hear you.
In Telugu, it's called Ubi, but English.
Quicksand.
Quicksand only, na? I said the same.
Yeah.
Then there is also this water springs, right? Which is like water seem to be very normal, but all of a sudden there is hot water. Of course, we don't want hot water baths in forest, na? In those hot water, you'll just burn yourself. So many dangers are there, and finally you'll think, oh, I am very nice. I have a very nice shelter, which is a tree which is full of fruits, yeah. And behind that there is a bear. We never know, right? So many dangers. I don't know where to find that. There is a very nice draw or a painting which tells how is a forest, how is a tree, yeah, how different things are waiting for us to eat us. So Guru, I mean, coming back to, yeah, to your question. So we may think that, okay, guide is anyway we are getting knowledge from so many ways, but who is going to make sure that that a person is self-realized, a person is really equipped with what we need to take us back to home? How much can we trust? Are we trusting Google? I think there is a version 1 coming, version 2 coming, version 3 coming, because Google itself is upgrading, isn't it?
Yes. Google is not credible also, so anyone can go there and write some information, so we cannot trust
No, come on, these days Google
everything.
is God. What are you telling? So, anyway, I don't know if your question is clarified.
Yes, Prabhuji, I completely accept that Guru will be someone who can guide us from
Mhm.
any point or anywhere
Yeah,
when we are
and this
lost. But
guide, the guide is also giving you some water. Yeah, it's not, Google
yes,
Map will not give you a picture of water, right? When you need,
yes,
but the Guru is also giving you the mercy, the grace. It's not a one way. Yeah, what Guru is doing is he's also equipping you with what is required. That you can only get from a Guru.
yeah, yes, Prabhuji, completely accepted. But what I was asking is, there are so many people who don't have gurus, or they don't even think about getting one.
Mhm.
Is there a way for them? Because there are so many people in this world like that.
Yeah, there is no way. There is
Okay,
no way.
okay.
Yeah, because the Lord. So who is Guru? Who is? Yeah, he's a representative of God. If we want God, yeah, so we approach through the representative of God. Just like in our government or in our country, also there is the Prime Minister, right? The Prime Minister is there. Of course, you can see him publicly, isn't it? Yeah, I think
Yes.
someone. I think last month or this month, Narendra Modi ji came to Germany. Everyone could see, but who could go and talk to him? Seeing is one thing. You go to any temple, you see the murti of the Lord, and you can have darshan and everything. But how to access so that you can render service to Him? How to know? How to know this? Is through His representatives. Huh? Just like a minister, you can't just simply say, "Hey, minister, I want to have appointment with you." He would simply say, "Go to my PA assistant," and then he will set up in a suitable time, suitable place, suitable subject, everything. Now, one may think that everyone has access, right? Isn't it? Everyone is seeing Prime Minister. Yeah, if you see, if Prime Minister is giving a speech in India, millions of people are watching him. What is happening with that? Just an understanding, okay, what is the potency of the Prime Minister? How much can he administer? Isn't it?
Yes, yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Similarly, if one is not going to a guru, yeah, they can always go to temples and get some sukriti, but really rendering service is possible through the grace, through the mercy of the guru, because he is telling how to approach the Lord. What is the
Okay,
etiquettes one should follow? Not just seeing is enough, right? So when we see how to render service, that is important.
okay, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's not so easy, right? So it means we have to surrender to someone. Not everyone likes it.
Yes.
We are happy to surrender to God because God is not showing, yeah, He is not pushing us hard. But if we surrender to Guru, then there is a lot of push, right? You have to do that, you have to do this, bend left, bend right, clean shave. So many rules and regulations. No, I mean, the gurus of 21st century are not so bad like in previous yugas. Uh, there are some adjustments made for our convenience. At the same time, still from a spiritual potency, they are still very much valid. It's not like, okay, they have compromised means our growth also will compromise. No, they have made adjustments so that they see what is that finest thing that is main important. Is it important to shave the head or is it important to chant?
Mm.
Yeah. Is it in the 21st century where earning has become a kind of a big challenge because of a lot of problems? Is 64 rounds or 16 rounds what is practical? Yeah, of course. That's why it's not always only 16 rounds, it's always at least 16 rounds. Yeah, we can also do 64 rounds. No one stops. The more we do, the more better. But 16 rounds. So in that way, um, this spiritual master is one who is telling, right? Otherwise, do you know how many rounds you have to chant? Hmm? We may think that, oh no, yeah, someone said that. That's why I can follow. Yeah, in that way, I don't accept a guru. At the same time, I follow. So is it not kind of contradicting? On one side, you are following the person, what he is telling, which means you are accepting him as your guru, but you are thinking, I'm not accepting it. It's only not formalizing the bond. And now the question may come, okay, in this way I can always accept, but I don't have to commit. It's nice, right? Huh? Then Sesha Sai Prabhu, what will happen if like that situation is there? No? Why to take initiation? I can simply follow them. No? Why to take initiation? What will happen? Yeah, you're on mute or you're not there.
Yeah.
Now I can hear.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, no, I was asking, the question is that, okay, why to take initiation only? Why to take shelter of a guru? Anyway, if I just follow whatever he's telling, why I don't need to take initiation, na? What is the risk there?
Risk there first is the sincerity and dedication. One. The other thing is you have someone who has seen this before you. So you can always ask him. Like a teacher, when we go to the school, why we need a teacher? Because he has already learned it. We are learning. So if we ask him, believe it. So it's the same.
Yeah, kind of assurance. Yeah, there is assurance. And also, as you already said, sincerity. That sincerity will not come if you don't commit. I don't know, Suryatej Babu, have you gone to gym? I think you have gone to gym, right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Without a commitment, if you wouldn't have paid for 1 year subscription, I know what will happen. You'll just simply say, okay, I don't have to go now. Yeah, there is no problem. Right, so that commitment when we don't have, by really surrendering to that or really taking shelter of a guru, what will happen is we may take his words very casual. When we take words of a spiritual master very casual, we know also the results will be very casual.
Yes, Prabhuji. Also, when a guru is talking to everyone, he might see a broader perspective, or he might be addressing everyone there. But if he is accepting you as his disciple, he might have a different set of instructions that is not applicable to everyone, or you may be lost in the crowd that you are doing something that
Just
is
like
not
the Prime Minister's
customized to
speech
you.
is the Prime Minister's speech is for everyone, right? There is no just like when a rain falls in all places. The spiritual master, when he's giving a general talk, he's giving a general instructions. But when we approach and when we take tadvidhi pranipadena pariprashnena sevaya upadesyanti te gnanam gnaninas tattvadarshinaha. In that is clearly mentioned that one approaches a spiritual master. What does he do? He is not just interested only in clarifying questions. Usually that's what we see because we don't have time. All the time we are seeing our time, right? My time is up, I have to go, yeah. So all the time it's like that, but in from the Bhagavad Gita, the spirit is that we first serve the guru. Tadvidhi pranipatena, then pariprashnena sevaya. Sevaya is the word that we offer the service to the spiritual master, and then we will ask what? Pariprashna. Not just prashna. Prashna means it can be a very kind of a challenging or a doubting question. I think we know the difference between a question and a doubt. Anyone knows? Can say that? What is the difference between these?
Question is something I want an answer for. Doubt is when I don't have a clarity. Maybe I don't want to know also.
Doubting means that I doubt it. I don't accept it. I have a doubt in you means I don't accept what you are telling. I have a question to ask means I have a question to know. Yeah, you know the difference now? So prashna and pariprashna. Pariprashna is a clear question which is the inquiry and submissive inquiry. Pariprashnena sevaya upadesyanti te gnanam. Then this knowledge, what really matters to me, that is coming out from the words from the mouth of the spiritual master. Who is that spiritual master? As Sesha Sai Prabhu was telling, Tattva Darshinaha, who has already seen the absolute, who has seen the truth, he will impart me that knowledge. For what we have to do, we have to offer service. Now question is, how are we able to offer service to a prime minister in a mass gathering? Can we arrange him some water? Not possible, right? Place? No. Maybe we are paying him some taxes. We think that is service. That is just our indebtedness that we have. Anyway, have to do it. Because he is ruling the country. He is arranging all the roads and everything. What we are paying is only towards the service that what he is doing. Are we doing any additional service to him? No, right? Whatever we are paying is only kind of repayment. Yeah, the Lord is so merciful that He has given everything even before payment. Usually in this world, what we see is pehle paise do, baad mein kaam lo. Right? First you give money, advance payment, pre-booking, all these things, then only you get service. The Lord is so merciful that He is arranging everything, the air, the water, everything, all the facilities are already given. And how are we paying? Repaying. Yeah, we think, take it for granted, and we come to an extent that we don't even accept Him as God. We don't even accept that, hey, Lord has given this. We only think that there is a big bang that happened, all the things came, fire, earth, water, ether, and everything came. If we don't believe, we should not use these, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. Anyway, I don't know if it answered this time the question, or
Yeah.
we can
Yes.
go on.
Yes. Yes, Prabhuji, it answered. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, but very nice question. Thank you. Yes, Sheshathai Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I just want to share my experience. I
Yes.
had the same questions that Surya
That's why
Teja.
you were the chosen. Yeah.
I had the same questions, like why I took the initiation. I just met Guru once, and I am not in connect with him anymore. Then I was like, I need to meet Guru. Then I came to your home and I sat with him. Then I also expect that I get personal instruction. Then I am really there. I did not have any questions to ask. I got opportunity to ask, but I really don't have any questions to ask.
Yeah.
But that is one thing. I thought that I will have many questions. I will have personal direction, but I myself do not have any questions. Then when we asked Maharaj, what is our personal instruction? He knows my level, and what he said is, just be with Vaishnavas. Okay, that is the personal instruction. So because I have to grow. So there is a personal instruction also, because I don't have very big questions to ask Guru. Then I give up that thought that I need to be with Guru and I need to ask questions. That is one thing. The other thing is, even if I have a greater question which I cannot find answer anywhere among the Vaishnavas, I definitely know that I can reach Guru. If I have a question today which I have to ask only Guru, I can go to Golok Dham and on 20th, then I can ask him. So it is not that we cannot reach him. On Friday Zoom calls, I can ask him. If you have a really a strong question which Guru can only answer, it can be addressed. That's what I feel.
Yeah. Very nice. Yeah. And then in the same context, it's like, yeah, if we don't take initiation, we will not close that door to go out, right? That's very important. Surya Tej Prabhu. If we don't take initiation, then we always say that, okay, I'm not to that level, so because of which now I want to go back to my bad habits. Isn't it not possible? Is it not possible? Hmm? Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, we couldn't hear you, but yeah, I think there is some mic problem. Yeah, but that's how we seal the gate. Yeah, we don't want to go back. Yeah, we already have seen that world, that underground. What is it called? Underground mafia, na? Yeah, we have seen that world with our eyes so many years. We don't want to go there, but to yeah, you are able to unmute, but your mic is not working. So we don't want to again. Even if we don't want to go, if the door is open, someone will pull us, saying, "Hey, aa jao, aa jao." So better we take shelter and we take initiation, so that we say, "Okay, no, 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 I have this commitment. I can't simply come with you. I like you. Don't worry. I care you. I take care of you when time comes. But I want to also be strong." So that's why we take the initiation. Okay, thank you very much. Any other things to add or share? There was Venimada Prabhu, na? I think I've seen somewhere. Oh, he left maybe. Yeah. Okay. Then thank you so much for your time. Yeah. As usual, Bhagavatam, 2 hours is nothing. But we have to stop. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Vanchakalpatarabhyascha kripa sindhubhyev cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.